You know what day it is today? Today's payday. I don't care if this episode ends up being 2 hours long. I'm finishing this field and I'm hauling the soybeans to sell. And we're going to pay down the debt as far as we can, simulate through the night, and then I think what I might do is lease a silage trailer and start hauling silage. Because I'm fixing to end this series. So buckle up, boys. We're in for a long one. I'm not going to end the series today, I don't think. But fixing to make some real progress, I'll tell you that much. If you're not from the United States and you don't know what I mean by fixing to, that's a colloquialism mostly from the American South that means planning. You say, I'm fixing to do it. That means I'm planning to do it. There. You clicked on this video to watch farming and you got a language lesson. Hey, anyways, welcome to Bluebelly Gaming. My name is Bluebelly. I play simulation games, and one obviously is a farming simulator, but I also play Vanished and City Skylines. And lately on my Twitch stream, if you check out the link down in the description, I actually have been playing a hunting game called The Hunter Call of the Wild. If you are interested in things like hunting and trucking and even fishing, I like to get into a little bit of everything. Now, what's sort of ironic is I don't do any of these things in real life. My real life involves being a teacher. I have experience helping on a farm, but I've never, owned farmland or anything myself. Not yet, anyways, I guess. Never say never. Sorry, I have to get this. It just feels so sloppy to leave it. Yeah, so I've mostly been a gamer and a teacher my whole life, but the kinds of games that I like to play are these simulation games. So if you're into this, I definitely would appreciate the sub on the channel if you're not already a sub, and we're gonna keep doing realistic, as realistic as I can. I saw a comment on somebody else's video earlier today where they said, a lot of these people are getting into, instead of farming simulator, it's more like farm arcade. And I kind of felt that comment. I kind of felt that because I see a lot of people doing really gimmicky things. And it's fine if you're playing on your own and you want to mod your harvester to hold 1,000,000 liters, like, knock yourself out. But for people who are either educating others about the game or who claim to be kind of hardcore fans or players of this game, I think there's a certain realism factor. Like, I just drove in my neighbor's field. You wouldn't do that in real life. That's stretching the game a little bit. Or, I don't play on seasons most of the time. I play on the regular 24-hour crop cycle. So is that farm cading? A little bit. I turn off crop destruction because I think it's too severe compared to how much crop destruction you would actually get if you drove a few feet into a field. I don't play with realistic mud and, some of the other things. If you really wanted to make this hard, you play with the realistic economy and realistic mud and seasons with, like, the longest length of time they'll let you have it. That'd be difficult. I saw somebody else's comment on another thread, though, that said, you know, I struggle enough in my real life. I want to play a game as an escape. So let me, you know, not be broke in the game like I'm broke in real life. And I thought, well, there's a whole lot of truth to be said in that comment as well. Most of us who play a game like this could never afford a $250,000 harvester, right? It's just not something we could do. So with the press of the C button, now I'm in a $250,000 piece of equipment doing a job that I'll never get to do in real life. Pretty cool. So, hey, if you're having fun, if you're enjoying the channel, I'm so glad to hear it, and I'm glad that you're here. That's my little farm sim rant for the, well, probably not the only one, just the first one of the episode. What do you think? 4 more trips? Yeah, probably. Maybe even 5. So we are at 95%. Will we get to the end? Excuse me. Sorry about all the throat clearing tonight. You know, tis the season here in the Midwest. What is it, 6,400? Oh, it's going to be so close. Oh, maybe I didn't turn off crop destruction on this one. Well, there you go. I typically do. I'll put it that way. I typically do. Now, if you watched the last episode, you know I already took the first load of the soybeans to the sell point. So we got, I think it was 27,000, which I was very happy with personally. So here's another 5. There's got to be, I would think, another 4 or 5 here. So, good deal. Here, we'll spread it out in the back of the truck a little bit. Man, I really like that grain truck. If you haven't seen already on the channel, I have a review of that IH grain truck. It's from the OK Used Mods and J&M Farms Facebook group. Well, and it's on Mod Network. If you want to just go there, click on FS19 Mods and then IH Transtar grain truck. It's got all the things that I wanted in a grain truck. It's vintage. It's got decent capacity at, what was it, 21,000? I forget. It handles well, it feels comfortable in the cab or just driving it. It gets decent speed without being, you know, a Ferrari. I dig it. I genuinely dig it. Oh. Hope everybody's enjoying the fall season change. I spent some time this past weekend here working on, I guess you probably won't see this for another week or 2, but it was still leaf season here this past weekend, so I got to do some leaf raking, which was good fun, good fun. That's one thing about the not playing seasons with this game. You don't really get to see scenery change. And the agricultural cycle in real life is obviously very much influenced by the seasons. You know, people talk about farmers working hard all the time, and they do, but you know, you've got some intense days of planting in the spring, and you've got some intense days of harvesting in the late summer and into the fall, but there are also times of, I don't know that I'd call it boredom. I mean, not being a farmer myself, I can't really say that it would be boring, but definitely times where the work demands of a farm are much more varied. But the thing that a lot of people don't know about farming, I think, is that farmers do many different things. So a farmer, you might think, just drives a tractor or just takes care of animals, or, you know, just does this, just does that. But a farmer has to be a mechanic to fix and maintain equipment. A farmer has to be a veterinarian sometimes to give birth to animals or to administer medication to animals, those kinds of things. A farmer has to be a plumber. A farmer has to be an electrician. A farmer has to be sometimes a painter. There's a lot of science involved in getting the pH balance of the fields right to make sure that there will be a crop. Farmer has to understand soils and crop rotation and moisture in grain. A farmer has to be a meteorologist to an extent to be able to predict which jobs to prioritize, to be able to understand the weather, to be able to understand the natural world, really. I mean, it's pretty insane the amount of different skills that it takes to do the job. So I think this is pretty much going to be it for us on this playthrough for running crops through this field. I think pretty much from here on out, we're either going to be doing, we're going to either be hauling silage or hauling milk. I just don't really see a point in going through the whole process on this field again. We've pretty much covered that in the series. I don't think there's anybody out there itching to see it. So if you want to watch me plant, or you know, this field started as a grass field, so I did hay in it the first time. Then I did a cereal crop of some sort. I think it was probably oats, so we could make straw. And now you're seeing the end of the soybean harvest. So in this series, it's been through 3 different crops. If you're still with me, and you didn't already know, we actually plan on having another season of this series, of the Save the Farm series, where we take an old vintage farm and get it out of debt. And so our next series will be starting the week after this one finishes. Let's check our prices here. I'm gonna guess it's the same place, but soybeans, pork, grain, elevator, which I think is right there. Yeah, so we're gonna head up here and then cut across the field like good realistic sim players that we are. Nothing says realism like cutting through the neighbor's field. Okay, so 8,500. So we should get another, I'm going to guess 15,000, maybe 14,500. That'll be my guess, 14,500. We'll drive this truck back to the farm. We'll sleep for the night. And then we're going to take our Mack semi, of course. Of course the train is here. I swear they've got a trigger built in. Anyways, we have a Mack semi that... Don't do that in real life, kids. I only did it, 1, because it's a game, and 2, because I know where the train is. I'm going to take a Mack semi down and lease a silage trailer. We're going to haul silage. What do we get? 16,500. Okay. So we want to go to our money. 1, 2, 3. Let's leave it there. Okay, leave it there. Dude, don't get stuck on the train tracks. Of all the places to get stuck, I really dislike how that delivery spot works. I mean, I think they should have put the grain drop on the road and made it like that big old honkin' elevator setup somehow gets the grain into the train if you want it to. But, you know, what do I know? I'm just the guy that cuts through the neighbor's potato field. So I do like the evening, the lighting in the evenings on this. Very, very cool. Look at this. Let's go full speed, 47 miles an hour. Will we leave the ground? Actually, I'm going to slow down. I bet I could hit that, though. Do a Dukes of Hazzard over there. Okay. So we'll run over here and sleep. I always leave my door open. You know, it's one of those neighborhoods you don't really have to worry. I'm not tired. I beg to differ. Quite exhausted, in fact. Let's take a look at the animal stats while we wait. So we have 12 pigs. We'll get a new one overnight. Got lots of slurry over there. They're okay on food. We have... Oh, nice. We're going to get a new cow. I forget how many I started with. I think it was only 10. But, you know, it takes a long time to get a new cow. 2,000 liters of milk. We're still good on TMR, so I'm not worried about that. More concerned about hauling silage. That's pretty much one-track mind. Can I sleep yet? Probably not. Oh yeah, you have to walk outside or whatever. I guess I could clean out the trough while we wait. We want to keep these cows producing. I don't really care as much about whether or not we get an extra pig. Oh, geez. Alright. That should have been enough time. I think it's after 10 o'clock. It'll let you sleep. Should be nice and early. Ugh. $2,000 in property maintenance. Gets me every time. Look at this. Beautiful truck, man. Beautiful. So we're going to go in here to our leased items. Yeah, see, we can't haul silage with this. So we are going to return that. We're going to drive this truck down to the store. Let's go 5x. We don't want it to completely stop. But we also don't want to stay on 120. So we're going to drive this truck down to the store and get ourselves... Man, $4,000. Is that going to be enough? Or am I going to have to take out a little bit of loan to be able to get this stupid thing? I shouldn't say stupid. I'm sure it'll do the job. So there's 59. And then I think there was one here that was 41? 48. 48, and it does silage. It's only $3,000. Yeah, so we're going to lease that. And for whatever reason, there's never traffic on this road. There's traffic up there. There's tons of traffic in front of the store. But there's no traffic on our road. Which is odd. I don't know quite why. Whoa, whoa. I don't know if that was my fault or if the steering just didn't respond. That was so weird. I promise, officer. It was just coffee, okay? Nothing in it, just coffee. I'm in a rush to get started on my silage hauling. I promise there was nothing more to it, officer. Okay, and that should open, and it does. I guess there's a little bit of suspension of disbelief here using this, what, probably 1950 something or other. Maybe early 60s Mac with a brand new German-made silage trailer. A little bit of suspension of disbelief, but it's a pretty cool trailer. It's a very cool truck, so I'm excited to get going on this project. Woo! Listen to that old girl hum. Wonder what she'll sound like full. Wonder if it can determine load. Surely not. Surely that wouldn't, excuse me, that wouldn't be in the files. Oh, perfect. What a lazy jerk. Why did I'm sure I left that there to be more... I thought I was helping myself because I didn't... At the time that I parked there, I wasn't planning on leasing that trailer. So I figured I would have to use this wagon. And I was, of course, incorrect. It's funny, after driving 40 miles an hour, then 14 pulling a wagon just doesn't seem sufficient. Look at me slowly closing the door. I should have gone around through the field. So down there, that concrete pad was because I placed a barn that was a cell point. I thought, I'll be clever, I'll put a cell point in, and it didn't work. I don't know what I did wrong. Okay, so we have 100,000 grass, but we have 240,000 silage, so it's going to be a lot of these strips, but worth it. We're going to haul this up to the barn and see what we can get for it. Oh, geez. Eesh. I sincerely hope that this unloads properly. Because if it doesn't, I'm going to be absolutely livid. The other trailer, the truck, the grain truck, wouldn't work. It would let me load it with silage, but I couldn't unload it. And I said this on the episode when it happened, I do not blame the modders. I blame my user error. Either I misread it or I was hitting the wrong button. I don't know what I did wrong. I just know. Oh my goodness, this thing has so much sway. I don't think I'm supposed to drive at full throttle, guys. I think that could potentially be the issue. Can you imagine how much this silage would weigh? 48,000 liters of grass silage. I mean, that stuff has like a fair bit of moisture. It's like a shovel full of silage you feel on the shovel. So this much would be heavy. That would be heavy. Alright. Oh gosh, I hope this works. I'm gonna scream if it doesn't. Oh man, I almost flipped my truck. I was trying to be clever here. Get this all backed in. Oh, you love to see it. Look at that money. You love to see it. You love to see it. 20,000 liters. I mean, $20,000. It wasn't all from that, but 1, 2, 3, 4. We're at 45,000. Couple more loads like that. And we're going to have this farm debt-free. So glad to have you here on the adventure. If you've been here since the first episode and you're excited to watch it end in the next episode, go ahead and drop me a comment down below so I can recognize you publicly. Thank you everybody for being here. My name is Bluebelly and I will catch you in the next episode. Bye for now.